Okay, welcome back to my channel. Now, if you had been listening to me and my advice and I did inspire you and you went off like a bird, you flew away and then you came back and you realized there was something missing, it's most probably a judgment call that you went wrong when you try to apply. So it's about this talk is about the clarification of what you need to do in terms of making judgment calls. So we in life, those of us who are TIs, we get situations where we know what most people take for impromptu and coincidental occurrences, and we know better than that, but seldom are we in a position where we can act. So you get frustrated when you can't do anything about what's obsessed with you, and that yeah, those of you who are targeting individuals will know what I mean right now. So it's about making the right judgment call, and it's a three-pronged attack, if you like. You've got your physicality, your intellect, and your spirituality, and it's about applying what and when, yeah, what's appropriate. So you've got to look at context all the time, because if you don't consider context, all you have is contradiction. You can mean that, if you like. I'll say it again. If you don't consider context, all you get is contradiction. Yeah. To most people, when they read scripture, I'm referring to the Bible because that's the only book I've ever read from beginning to end. It took me 4 years to read it, a chapter a day. A chapter a day keeps the devil away. So basically, it's about context, because if you don't put context in it, everything in that book is contradictory. But if you put context in it, then you can see what Christ meant, because Christ has been the guide that has always helped me during those moments when I need to judge. And the way I look at things, before I react, I have to think about how to react. You never react on impulse unless you really must. The only time you can react, or you should react on impulse, is when there is clear and present danger in your life. And that's the only time where you have to be like a speed chess practitioner and react. So the only people that react are those who are engaged in warfare or some kind of conflict like that. So this spiritual warfare requires you to also react instantaneously. So your reaction must be a righteous one and never stray away from that, the righteous path, if you like. So when you consider context, and then you can say, now if Christ came on earth and he said, I did not come to break the law, I came to fulfill it, and the law says an eye for an eye, and he said you must turn the other cheek. What did he mean by that? So you see, if you don't consider context, all you're gonna get is contradictions in that one. So I will clarify a little bit about what judgment is about. So most people have spent, the human race, most of it, has spent 2,000 years trying to consolidate between what Christ came to teach us and what the other Messiah, Moses, came to teach us too. And basically they see contradiction because they can't see context. So when you look at the levels, and it's a fractal setup, if you like, yeah, where you have a unit making up a larger unit that looks like it, which makes up a larger unit that looks like it. So when you react, you have to consider what level you're reacting at. And if something, for example, if somebody steals something from you, and that's Mosaic law will tell you you have to steal something back, then you can say to yourself, what is the most appropriate thing to steal when somebody has stolen something from you? No, there's levels to that. So the most appropriate thing to steal when somebody's stolen something from you, at level 1, you steal back what somebody stole from you. Yeah, that's the first thing. If you can't steal back what they stole from you, yeah, then you steal something of theirs. Yeah, if you can't steal something of theirs, then you steal something. Right? To balance things out. Yeah. So you consider context. You don't just somebody steals something from you, then you go and steal something from someone else. You just don't do that. Yeah. When somebody steals something from you, you try and steal it back. A theft for a theft. Yeah. And that's how it works. And judgment is like that. When it comes to retaliation, someone attacks you, what do? You must try and engage them during the attack. If you can't engage them during the attack, yeah, then you have to strike back if the attack is ongoing. Yeah. And then you have to figure out what ongoing is. If somebody hits you, then waits 5 minutes, then hits you again, then obviously that means it's ongoing. So if somebody hits you and you didn't get a chance to strike him back during the hit, then you have to leave it and turn the other cheek. But if they come back to hit you after 5 minutes, then that's ongoing. If they hit you, then he stops, waits 5 minutes, hits you back, yeah, and then he stops. You go after that one, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour later, a day later, you have to get your hit back. Yeah, so that's where it fits in. An eye for an eye also fits in with turn the other cheek. Yeah, only in situations where you couldn't get to react during the act. Yeah, so these are the things that I hope to clarify. All the people who speak on spirituality should aim to clarify what has already been before us. Yeah, so I also came to clarify things, and basically that's what I'm doing now. So when you are in the middle of a spiritual attack, you must react in a spiritual way. When you're in the middle of a physical attack, you must react in a physical way. When you're in the middle of an intellectual attack, you attack in an intellectual way. You fit the context. Yeah. Now, let's say somebody attacks you spiritually, and you can't attack them spiritually. Then you move on to the other two. You try it intellectually. If you can't do that, then you give them a slap. So you must get an eye for an eye, fulfillment. That's justice and judgment and that. Yeah. So that's what I think you are lacking if you had to come back. Yeah. You missed a lot, but we'll come back.